Hello, hello. So today I had the opportunity to speak to the wonderful Michelle a little bit about her experiences as an online teacher, a trainer, a business owner. She's done so much over the last 7 years in the teaching world or the online industry. I'm so impressed by her and her skill set. Today she'll talk a little bit about expanding yourself, making use of resources, business English, IELTS, all of the different things that you can do. And she has some amazing ways to overcome different obstacles that you might be facing as well. So check it out. Here we go. So hello, Miss Michelle. You are amazing and fantastic. I'm so happy to have you on the show today. For those of you that don't know who Michelle is, you need to know who Michelle is. She's been in the industry for quite some time. She started her own business, and today she's going to be talking about resources for us, opportunities, all these good things. Okay. So, Miss
Right, excellent.
Michelle, how did you get
Right.
into teaching online or this industry?
First of all, thanks so much, Clilla, for inviting me on. So my teaching journey goes way back, 2014. I started teaching at an online teaching center, just like many others. I started teaching there. In fact, the center was very new. It was one of the first 3 teachers to go live there. And that was great. Yes, nervous as anything. And then after a few months and after a bit of initiative on my side, I started becoming their trainer, and I started managing on the weekends. So that was all interesting. I got to learn some interesting things there. Unfortunately, the center didn't stay open very long. They had closed down. But that sort of forced me to look for other options. I decided not to go to another center, but to go home based instead.
Okay.
And I never really looked back. That was a really big leap. It's so risky because you don't know what's ahead.
Yes.
But it was really great. So that was where it started. It's come a long way since then, though.
Yes. So,
Right.
what's been happening in the process that you like this whole time?
Sure. So, wow, it's been quite a journey. So from home-based teaching, I then started to go into recruiting. I started helping other companies recruit teachers. I then actually started my own business and opened up a language center, which was a very interesting experience. Got to help other teachers actually also, become qualified and teach online, and that went on
Cool.
for a few years. Also training, obviously recruiting, managing through that whole process. I got to see the industry from different perspectives,
Yes.
so that was really wonderful, and I've learned a lot. It's been challenging. It was stressful at times, but obviously very rewarding in that I've learned a lot through the process and had the opportunity to help others as well.
That's
So, and then sort of
amazing.
come sort of full circle, and I teach from home again, and I manage a small home-based team remotely. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. I teach adults, and that's been amazing. Yep.
Awesome. Very cool. And like now you're teaching adults. How do you feel about your experience so far, especially with the fact that you're teaching adults?
I love it. I love the fact that you can have a really in-depth conversations. Obviously, the skill set is a little different when teaching adults. The approach is different, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy being able to give your heart and soul into every class. It's fun. It's interesting, and yeah, it's very rewarding. Teaching
That's
online always is.
It is. It always
Yeah.
is. Oh, that's so cool. It's so
Yeah.
nice that you also
Thanks.
found your niche in that way. I know earlier we
Mm.
were kind of speaking about niches and finding your own way.
Mm.
What are some tips or advices that you could give to some teachers out there?
Sure. So, there's so much opportunity out there, and I think some teachers think that teaching online is only limited to teaching children, teaching them phonics, etc. But there's so much more to it. When you're teaching adults, you can also have a look at teaching business English, There are international examinations that you can help students prepare for, things like BULAT and IELTS and TOEFL. These are all international examinations, and you can become certified, do the training, become certified. And there are schools that just do this. There are tons of resources online that'll help you, upskill you, and equip you to be able to diversify, and that gives you, opens up more opportunity.
Yeah.
If you're looking for just resources, materials online, places like British Council, Cambridge, Ingu, even, there are tons of resources that you can actually tap into and make use of to make your classes interesting and fun and exciting. And if you want to do something else, then the door is open because you're qualified and you're able to provide that service.
That's so cool. It's definitely awesome to be able to provide different things instead of just
Yeah,
um, just being able to teach children, for example. I know for
yes,
myself, I definitely want to look into becoming an IELTS teacher. I think that must be super, super
yes.
cool and super
That's
fun as
it.
well.
That's it. And it's interesting because IELTS, even within itself, a lot of students have to take it for either for university, they have to take it for immigration purposes or for work purposes. So even within that, there's a diverse range of students that you're going to reach as well, and it's not
That's true.
incredibly difficult. With the course that you get, you'll be able to do it quite easily, honestly. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. I'm going to definitely look into it after this, definitely.
Cool.
And Michelle, what
Right.
are some like challenges that you have faced so far, and how are some ways that we can overcome these challenges?
Oh my goodness, wow. So being South African comes with its own unique set of challenges, right? I mean, let's look at the most practical challenges that we have is something as simple as load shedding. Okay, how do we overcome this? This is a fact. We're going to be dealing with it even more to come in the future. So I think we really have to be prepared. I think making sure that you have backup solutions, alternative power sources, and
Yes.
just as a rule of thumb, always have, backup equipment. But to combat that and to make sure that you can always provide like a consistent service, just make sure that you're prepared for load shedding. Of course, that's
Yeah.
just one. It's a very simple thing. And then there are more like serious challenges. You know, Rejection. Let's just dive straight into that one. When you're applying, especially when you're new, or even if you're not new, you're gonna find that getting into certain companies is really tough, and you might get rejected. In fact, you're probably going to get rejected quite a bit. And making sure that first of all, evaluating what your application looks like. Make sure that you identify what your strengths are so that you know exactly what you're applying for is what you're properly skilled in. And I
Yes.
think that making sure simple things like your introductory video is done really well. So much of the interview process takes place before, or the application process takes place before the interview.
Yes.
And you really have to make sure that your CV looks great, that you put your best attributes forward, and that you can demonstrate maybe in a demo video, what your skills and abilities are. Um, and I think if you do that, you can overcome some of the challenges,
Hmm.
just by making sure your CV looks great, your intro is good. And then by not giving up, you're going to have to continue, keep applying, don't give up. And I would say diversify your skill set as well. Just as we
Definitely.
mentioned before, it's so important. And take chances, take risks. If even if you think you might not get into a company, apply anyway. They say fortune favors the bold. Sometimes you might just
Yes.
be able to. Yeah, so that's one of the other challenges. Just oversaturation. Making sure that you try to get in when there's lots of competition.
Hmm.
Another challenge, and this one is a bit icky to speak about, but it's very real, is, having been in recruiting for some time as well, I noticed that there is a little bit of racial bias with certain countries only. I'm not saying that the entire industry is like this. And what I noticed this because over some time it was more and more difficult for me to push candidates that were, darker skinned or they were just in comparison to some fairer colleagues, it was really difficult. Even just based on things like, their skills, abilities, they could have a great video, but it was really challenging. And I think if anyone ever comes across this, and just do not take it personally, their hiring process might be different and it's not personal. Um, and it really comes down to what I think is their marketing strategy. And it doesn't always meet, what our needs are in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, don't. It's not a personal thing, as far as I know. But keep applying and keep applying elsewhere. Then, this has only happened in a very small, I would say, a small market, like in one specific country.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen all the time. There are
Yeah.
fantastic companies to work for that don't apply these kind of rules and biases. And yeah, we've got to look at that.
Yes.
Focus on that.
Definitely.
Um, I think the last challenge that I can think of right now is dodging companies that are, less than honorable. Let's say that. I've seen some companies spring up that haven't been treating teachers well.
Mm-hmm.
um, I would say that they would come up and they would change pay rates or dishonor their contracts or not even pay teachers. And that I think is just it's the most awful thing that could ever happen. And I've seen
Yeah.
this happen. I see it sometimes popping up in the groups. And it's not right. So I think teachers need to just equip themselves this way,
Yeah.
make sure that they research the company very well, reach out to other teachers who you think might be working from them. Just make sure that they are reputable before you sign up with them, and before you teach with them. Make sure you have a
Yeah.
legitimate contract. um, and that's, we can't always avoid it, but we can sort of try to look at a preventative measure, I guess.
Yeah.
Use the online community groups as a tool to help you, to make
Yes.
sure that you don't get caught up with something like that. And this is a very small part, very small section. I'm speaking about it like it's so common. It's not, but I feel so strongly against companies that do this that it really upsets me. And I really wish that teachers would, just pay special attention to when there are red flags within your
Yeah.
company.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
That's
Um, yeah, I can't think of any other
no.
challenges right now. The
It's
isolation is
perfect.
real. Remember that there are online communities that can support you. I started a WhatsApp group as well, and it's sort of taken on a life of its own. But people are so incredibly supportive towards each other, and it's really great because you could be that teacher that needs assistance. It's
So
reach
true.
out. Yeah, and it's so much better when you do things like with others, and you don't have to do it on your own.
Yes. Oh, Michelle, those are fantastic, fantastic pros and cons and ways to overcome everything. I really, really think that's very beneficial advice. Thank you so much for sharing all of that as well with us
You're
and your
welcome.
experience.
You're welcome. I hope it was helpful.
It's so
Yeah.
helpful. It definitely is. I'm sure that there are people out there that are wondering about these things or have experienced this, and
Yeah.
maybe they feel alone, but now I hope
Yeah.
they don't. Now I hope they can see,
Yeah.
to just keep on going, keep on striving.
Yes, perseverance is key. You have to keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're not in it alone. Like
No, exactly.
we have support, we have a community. Um
That's it.
and people are so willing to help actually, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's been the beauty of like seeing everyone help each other is just when you realize actually, there are a lot more people who are willing to help than those who aren't. Um, and you empower others when you do that as well. You're empowering, they might not be your colleagues per se, but they are kind of, we're all in this together in a way. We're all trying
Yeah.
to create better lives for ourselves, our families, and for others. So
Yeah.
it's best that you help. Yeah, we have nothing to lose by helping others.
Oh, it's very true. Oh, Michelle, you have such a kind heart. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Okay, Miss Michelle, I know you have to go, so I'm going to ask you one last question quickly. Um,
Sure.
if you had to express or give 3 words to basically describe your experience as an online teacher, which 3 words would you use?
Oh wow, it's been interesting. It's been challenging at times, but it's also been fun.
Yeah,
Teaching is about giving of your heart. Whatever it is. If I would say, to anyone who wants to maybe start teaching online first, just ask yourself, do you really want to help others? Because that's what it is, right?
yeah,
It's about giving of your heart and soul to others, being willing to go the extra mile. And I think that if you don't have that, then perhaps you are not in the right industry at the end of the day. But you've got to be willing as well to have fun while you're doing it.
yeah.
There's no point if it's just all work, work, work. And your students will be able to feed off that. If you're having a good time as well.
It's very
That's it.
true. I think I was speaking to Theo about it too, where we were talking about energy and the way that you are with students, and you definitely
Yeah,
feel each other's energy, as even though it's over a screen, you can see if the student is sad or something like
yeah,
that. So it's pretty
absolutely.
powerful.
Absolutely. And the other thing, just one thing I wanted to mention as well, you have so much to gain with online teaching in terms of flexibility. If someone is considering this as a possible career, there are so many benefits to online teaching. The flexibility is one. I have 2 kids and 2 dogs, and and I'm studying, so the fact that you can, be at home, be with your family, that if you need to, but still able to earn like a really steady income, it's been invaluable. That
Oh,
flexibility, which is really, really great. So I would say go for it. It's worth it.
yeah.
Yeah, and you'll enjoy it.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Well, not advice, but insight as well. Um, I feel the same way, honestly. I think it gives us a lot of freedom to be able to do things
Yeah,
that we wouldn't normally be able to
excessive
do if you were working
in a
from
full
like,
time.
yeah, you had to travel to work, start at 7,
Exactly,
only get home at 6.
exactly,
So it's definitely an
exactly.
amazing job to have and
That's it.
lifestyle, I guess.
True.
uh,
Thanks so much, Kalila.
Thank you so much. Do you have any other advice or any questions for me? Anything like that?
No, not really. I just want to know, how long have you been teaching online, and
Me?
what made you decide to get it? Yeah. Just
um,
curious.
I've been teaching online for about 2.5 years now.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
so not super long, but I think I've been really fortunate. I'm a teacher trainer, and now I'm going to be a
Yeah,
facilitator. So I've grown pretty quickly, which has been awesome, awesome, awesome,
nice.
awesome. But
That's amazing.
ultimately, the thing that made me get into teaching is I used to work on cruise ships and boats, and
Okay.
I was missing a
Sorry.
lot. Are you okay?
Yeah. Sorry. Please
um,
carry on.
I was missing out on a lot of like family time and events like weddings and birthdays and stuff.
Of
And
course. Okay.
a friend of mine passed away, and I just decided that life is
I'm
too
sorry.
short. No, it's okay. I just decided
Yeah.
life is too short to be like so focused on just like making money and being away from the
Yeah.
people you love. So
That's it.
now here I am, and I get to be around the
That's
people I
it.
love so often.
Yes, that's it. That's the amazing part, right? When you get to
Yeah.
stay, when you get to be with your family. I don't think any amount of money can make up for that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, it's so true.
Great.
Thank you
Oh,
so
good.
much, Michelle, for today. I had
You're
so much fun
welcome.
talking to you, and you gave us some
Thank you.
great
Likewise.
advice today.
I
Great.
hope so. All right.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Kalila. Take
thank you.
care.
You too. Bye.
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 Bye.